Hey there, everyone. Thanks for joining me today for another Strategy First Facebook Live. Guest today, and again, start queuing up those questions. I know everybody loves to have questions about AI, so this should be robust once we get going. My guest today is Julia McCoy. She's president of Content at Scale, leading big initiatives for one of the fastest growing AI content writing tools for SEO marketers on the planet. So, Julia, thanks for agreeing to be subjected to my questions today.
Absolutely, John. You're a great person. Glad to be here.
So, as you tune in today, I'll just remind you, just fire in those questions. Nothing's off limits.
Oh boy.
You know, you and I worked together before you were a Content at Scale. You had another human being writing company
Yes.
that you sold. So I the last time you were on my podcast recently, and I got to pick on you for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it again, and all in good fun. But
Love
I
it.
think at that time, when AI was in its inception, you were one of those voices out there saying, AI is crap. It can't write like humans. It'll never be
No.
able to write like humans. I'm guessing you changed your tune.
What made you believe that? Indeed.
So you sold a company, which is
Yes.
frankly a success story in the entrepreneurial world, all on its own.
Oh,
But
thank
now
you.
you're back in it. What really drew you to want to come back into it?
Yes, yes. Well, the reason I sold that company in 2021 in the fall, actually around this time of year, I knew GPT was on the horizon back then, but just like you said, like I really didn't think it was going to replace me. I thought it was garbage. I mean, we all see probably the article spinners, and that was
Yeah,
what we were used to. So we're like, oh, come on,
right.
garbage.
Yeah,
Oh, little did we know. So what pulled me back in, all of 2022, I spent that year consulting, teaching. I thought I would probably like take a 3 month sabbatical, maybe travel the world. And I got to tell you, John, I couldn't. Like I had a baby that year, and I was still working, building
uh,
something new.
yeah,
It's just in here. I
yeah,
cannot separate that from who I am. I love to build. So I was building like a maniac. I actually built a coaching program, built it to 200K within 12 months. So that was a lot of fun. It was really fun to consult, teach business owners. Got one, her income 10x. I mean, it's just rewarding to be a part of that. But boy, is it
yes,
hard work. Wow.
yes,
That's like slave labor. I'm kidding. It's a lot of work.
yeah,
So at the end of the year, I was like, well, I better keep studying AI because here comes ChatGPT, and 100 million people adapted inside a month. And it's
yeah,
the world's fastest adapted technology ever. And so
yep,
I'm like, whoa, this might change the world. I used it the first time, and I was totally let down. I was like, this is garbage. What it's putting out, it's superficial. Like,
yep,
John, you know the value of good content. You know what it looks like.
yep.
And that content, like, it's not even current. There's no statistics, there's no facts, there's no research. It is literally regurgitating what exists on the internet.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, this is terrible. So
Sometimes
I
using too many adjectives while all the while doing it.
unlock the special power of. I
Yeah,
just say it.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
So, but now you're in an AI content producing company. So,
yes.
talk a little bit about, and we don't have to go too far down the tech rabbit hole, but what's the what's the primary difference? Because obviously, ChatGPT has gotten better. It's going to
Mhm.
continue to improve. And what's the significant difference between the approach that Content at Scale has taken in terms of the actual, written content? How is it different than how
Mm.
ChatGPT is writing content?
Yes, that is the question. Well, I have to say, I found it this January, and what I saw whenever I was looking at it, I saw it in a YouTube video. What I saw in front of me was literally my entire workflow. And that is what has changed the game for me. So not only is it, I mean, for one, Justin, the founder, and the dev team cracked the code of human like output. So that is a feat in and of itself. It takes more than 3 LLMs to do that. So when you hear like ChatGPT is not good for writing, well, it's only one LLM. It's essentially like the alphabet without words. So what you can do with that is not a lot, as opposed to what I believe the entrepreneurs are going to build with these AI tools, which is real solutions we can actually use in our workflow. So when I saw Content at Scale, I put it in my writer's workflow for our blog, because that is 99% of our marketing. Just like you, it's SEO content. And so I'm like, here you go. I think this is going to be a game changer, but you tell me. And she came back to me. She's like, we're going to save 7 hours out of our 8-hour blogging process. And it was the first time I had ever heard that from any AI tool. So we were like, whoa, this is going to change the game. And as I studied the output, what I saw, that was what got me excited the most. The dev team and the founder had literally cracked the code of outputting content that had research backed content in it. It didn't have the fluff. So it was checking itself. It was cutting its own fluff. And it had the flow, it had the H2s, the H3s, the structure that you want to see in a good article. So it had all that, and it generated that within 5 minutes from a keyword, a blog post, and audio file. So I'm like, this is my entire workflow. So when you compare content at scale to ChatGPT, it's almost like comparing a sock to an entire outfit. It's so different. It's just... It's like the Iron Man suit for writers, as opposed to like the AI robotic hand that you don't really know what to do with.
Well, so that kind of begs the next question. And that is, a lot of people looked at ChatGPT and was like, oh, no, this is going to replace all writers. And then a lot of people were like, well, no, not really, hold on. But to some degree, you're saying that this tool has come far enough, and probably other tools will go even farther, that maybe it will replace writers. Is that a fair statement, or what is the role of the writer going to become might be a better question.
Yes, that is the right question. This year alone, if we're keeping it real, 100 million writing jobs are going away this year, and 800 million jobs in total are expected to change by 2030. So we are going to see a loss of jobs. But that last question you asked hit on something gold, which is what will your role evolve into? And something I'm teaching in Content at Scale, which I jumped on board in January, got to see the use cases of over 50 million words a month. So I really got to see what people are doing with this. So the approach that we're creating is something called AIO, where the writer is instead of thinking like, I have this blank page, this is where I start, I got to build an SEO tool, I got to go get Hemingway, got to go get Grammarly. No, you can literally have AI generate that content in one place, have all those tools built in, and your work goes from hours, if not weeks and days, to minutes as the tools get better and better. So that's something that I think we have to think of, is what is our role as a writer? And really it's an optimizer. And that's the idea behind AIO. You're the optimizer of that AI content instead of writing from scratch, because let's face it, that is obsolete. Done.
So AIO stands for AI optimization. And really one of the things that, of course, is also built into the Content at Scale tool is the whole SEO checklist. That first off, the content is optimized, but then you have the ability to further optimize it if there are certain things that are missing. And I think when you talk about workflow, it's not just writing the content, it's structuring the content, and then it's also optimizing the content from an SEO standpoint. So I think that's probably, and I must admit, I pay attention to AI. I haven't used every tool out there exhaustively, but that to me is the real, you've got content that's getting better, but then you've got all the other time-saving elements that are built into it. What's next?
Oh, that's the question. Well, we could go real far down the rabbit hole and talk about Skynet. We're going to see mega change, right?
Yeah.
If 800 million jobs are changing, evolving by 2030, they're saying it's 25% or more of the entire population, 8 billion people here. So we're looking at something that's going to impact literally everyone that's sitting in a position of knowledge work, which is writing, strategy, content creation, development, so many different things. So what we're going to see is GPT-4 comes along. AGI is the big topic for this fall. They've probably already hit AGI because OpenAI actually hasn't confirmed it. When Sam Altman got fired and rehired in a matter of 5 days, he also had a buyout happen where OpenAI purchased, I think, 50 million of AI chips that he was building. And the rumor is that he was a part of the discovery of AGI, which is where AI can solve problems on its own without a human in the driver's seat at all, that's where there's like danger to humanity, got to put together regulations, got to put the robot in a box, whole other problem. So the rumor is, and if you research it, it's called Q-Star. That's what was unveiled by potentially Sam Altman, which is the revelation of AI can actually think on its own. But that wasn't confirmed or denied. Just saying. So OpenAI is like, we're not going to talk about it.
So that's obviously way out there. What's next just for content at scale? I mean, how do you continue to evolve the model? You're on like V3 or something like that with it now?
Yes.
So how do you
great question. Yeah. So we're not going to destroy humankind. We're building a real functional solution here. Yeah. So what's next for us is really listening to our users and seeing what they need the most as they use these new features. So with V3, which launched November 7th, we created 3 different technology suites. Rankwell is all of our proprietary SEO technology, a Google search crawler that looks real time, does a lot of in-depth research, breaks that down, parses that, puts that into the content. So there's a lot of pieces there, from NLP to topic reports. Some of this is technology that our founder actually bought, went and acquired, put it into our tool. So it's a very robust technology suite. Then there's the content producer, our long form writer, and generative AI, which is the new one that just launched. And that's where I think we're going to see a lot of magic happen. Right now, it's very much beta. It's not going to blow you away. I'm just going to put that out there, but it will very soon, because we're rebuilding the UX around the workflow. People actually have told us they want. So Gen AI, you have 40 different AI agents at your command where you can literally type in, I need an SEO strategist. And then our AI agent will deploy, and you can command it to build you an entire SEO strategy for a website, and it'll give you accurate information. Because that's the problem with ChatGPT, Claude, single LLMs right now. They're actually not filtering information for factual based content. So with our platform, that's something we're trying to do, is give you real insights with that Gen AI, which is, generative AI. You can put together a strategy, put together short form content, not just long form. So the basis is you actually have something you can use, which sounds very rudimentary, but in AI, that's a breakthrough.
So I've got a question that came in, and it's really long. I'm going to put it on the screen. You might not be able to read it all. But yeah, okay, we were. Love to hear your opinion on the impact of exponentially more content. Since consumers, will have much more content synthesized, and it's kind of like content arms race opinion. I completely agree with that, being an issue, because even with people using ChatGPT, I mean, even if it's crap content, it's still content that's getting put out there. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that idea. Does it just continue to raise the bar, of what content's going to get seen?
Yes. So I have a whole theory here. Let me tell you. Google, in December of 2022, they launched an extra E in Eat. And I really think Google saw what was going to happen, which is, here's ChatGPT, beautiful, shiny object. People now think they can write. Da-da-da. Not that simple. And so people are rushing to publish SEO content because it's now the click of a button. No. Consonant Scale's trying to debunk all that. But what Google did is that extra E stands for experience. And what they really are looking for, and you can read the Page Quality Rater guidelines on this. What that means is personal experience on the actual topic you're speaking on. So what is it AI can't do? It can't actually tell us how a pizza tastes with that human thought process. It can't replicate our inner human being. It can try, it can mimic, but it cannot actually replicate that. So that was Google's E. It was all about that personal, heartfelt, authentic experience added into your content. So when Google added that in December, they knew what they were doing. And now they're rolling out content that could even come from high authority domains like entrepreneur.com in favor of the creator that has more personal experience. So what I see, and I did a keynote on this, I've done so many talks on this topic. What I see as the opportunity is when you have 99% of people that are new to this thinking they can publish content straight from ChatGPT, we, the experts in the room that know better, have this incredible opportunity with Google focusing on Eat to actually publish more niche sites and dominate in the SERPs, especially the SGE SERPs. Because what SGE is going to do, it's going to citate and pull to the creators. And I'm seeing this. Like if you type in a keyword, which Hawaii island should I visit? It's not pulling the big DA sites. It's actually pulling the creator in that citation.
Yeah.
So I think we have such an opportunity. I mean, when you think about like building a new site from nothing, we didn't have this opportunity just a year ago to actually have a link above the blue links. And that's what SGE is going to do. It's going to actually reference the creator's website, and it's got to be topically relevant. So if you're talking about Hawaii, it's a Hawaii domain you want, and it's you and your expertise, but you can still use AI to generate content. Just add in your expertise.
So, I'm a user of the tool, and I'll give you an example. We have a certification for fractional CMOs that is actually not new, but the positioning is somewhat new for us. And so as an experiment, I went to Content at Scale, and the keyword phrase is fractional CMO certification. And put that in. We were not ranking for that at all. And it wrote about a 3,000 word article, completely optimized, completely structured. We literally popped it into our blog, which again does have some traction. It's been around for a long time. So we do have some advantage there. But within about a week, it was in the top. It was definitely on page 1. It is now currently 1 for that search term, and it includes one of the rich snippets, for the content. So, I mean, it's probably not a highly sought after term, which makes it a little bit. There definitely were established players that we jumped over, just with that one, blog post. So that's my case study for the world for what it's worth.
Amazing. I love how you just pointed out that you can use AI, because it's a misnomer to think, oh, it has to be only human. No, Google doesn't care. They only care if it's good. And that's what you're doing with Content at Scale, still publishing good content.
Exactly. So this is a little off topic, but you are essentially a software tool that has adopted a no free trial. Which is somewhat unique out there. So I'm curious. Risky, just don't care. Thought this is going to bring us a better client. I mean, what went into it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, before we launched V3, we started at $250 a month. So we did have a trial. It made a lot of sense. $250 for a brand new tool. That's a big jump. But when V3 launched, we actually have a plan that now starts at $49 a month. So the barrier to entry, much lower. You can jump in, get undetectable content. You can't get the premium content producer yet, but you can jump in and at least experience it. So with that, we analyzed the trials. We had hundreds and hundreds of people take advantage of that trial. And what we saw consistently in the feedback, because I had it all hooked up to a survey at the end when they canceled or they continued. So, the rates were average. Nothing was stellar. There was a churn rate. There was an average. So it was pretty standard. We didn't see like a consistent, this trial is working extraordinarily well. So that influenced the decision, but also the feedback was really interesting to us. In the cancellation surveys for that trial, we saw people say, oh, I just don't think I need content. Oh, I just don't think that blogging will work for me.
Okay.
Like you tried with one blog. That's not how content works. So we just saw like consistently that single use trial was creating this thought process that was very anti the content marketing process as a whole, which is you got to invest, you got to commit to see success. So we're like, okay, if we want to get the ideal audience we want, which is the content marketer, the serious marketer here, then we need to eradicate the idea that you can do it all with just one piece of content for free. So it's gone. You can't get that at all from our site. You have to buy in. But that said, you can still jump in at that lower price point, because we know, there's a hurdle, and something we're trying to do is a lot of education tutorials. Like there's a 20-minute tutorial we just put live yesterday of my entire workflow of how I use the content producer to run our whole blog. So we're trying to really help people so that they have, like, some people need to go to bosses and get buy-in. We understand that. So we are trying to help them have the tools they need to do that.
Another comment. With all the fuss about data privacy, how are businesses finding the sweet spot between personalization and
Mhm.
protecting people's privacy and their marketing strategies? That's a big question in my mind.
Yes. You want me to take this?
Yes, I do.
Yes, that is a great question. I don't think it's asked enough. So whoever asked that, good on you for thinking about that. A lot of people feed ChatGPT. By feed, I mean prompt it, and they're not thinking, well, this sentence I just typed, if it contained proprietary data for my client, that just went out to the world just like
Yeah.
that. So we got to think about these things. So something going to sound like a plug, but I'll tell you, I really believe back to one of the first things I said that entrepreneurs are going to take what is the alphabet soup right now, which is an LLM. They're going to create the functional solutions. So, something Content at Scale does is whenever you set up a project and you're putting in that input, so you're telling it the type of tech that client has or the industry, and there's proprietary information in there, none of that gets shared. It stays within that project. So that's something you don't have to worry about when you're using Content at Scale. And I think if you look at tools with that judgment level, does this tool actually stop all my proprietary information from being shared with the world? Is there a block? And I would really caution you when you're using ChatGPT with client projects, like just be really careful. So it's a good question to ask.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's we've got a few minutes left today. Let's talk a little bit about how should what I'm telling people is all these tools are just are efficiency tools. They're assistants. They're
Yes.
things like that. So how should a content marketer today be thinking about content strategy? Because I think
Mm.
that's our job is really the global picture now, and we'll use just like we would use team members, or third parties, to write the stuff. We still have to be directing, strategy. So how do you see that role for the content marketer or the marketing person in a content department? What do you see the role of strategy being now with the onslaught of all these tools?
Yes, I would say it's going to be very, very heavily AI assisted to the point where, I'm seeing job posts from employers that are looking for marketing directors, and they are looking for this marketing director to run AI, like use ChatGPT, create social posts with it, and just edit it yourself, make it better. But using AI alone like that, it's crazy. That alone will make you
Yeah.
and put you in a position where a lot of marketers aren't, because only 14% of America has actually adapted to using ChatGPT.
Huh.
So you just stepping into that seat saying, I know how to run Content at Scale. I know how to open ChatGPT and get 10 more tweets out of this initial tweet. If you just start there, I mean, that puts you in such a good place for this new world, which is, I think we're going to see the statistics are up to 80% of what we
Yeah.
were doing could be automated.
Yeah.
So getting ahead of it, driving the engine is what we need to do.
Yeah, we're running a boot camp early next year that
Yay!
essentially we're teaching people in a matter of hours how to produce 90 days worth of content in various formats. But it really starts with strategy. It's like, what are
Yeah.
our content pillars? What are we trying to accomplish with our content? But then use the tools to actually put it in all the places in the right formats, in the right style,
Mm.
that we need to put it. And I think that's the skill that type of skill I think people need to learn, as opposed to just, oh, I write a prompt and here we go.
Yes,
Which was
100%.
kind of the same when blogs first came around. You
Mhm.
and businesses
Yeah.
started adopting them. It was like, oh, it's Monday, I need to write a blog post. What should I write? Right?
No.
And I think that we're all we're doing now is just using different tools, but strategy will never
Mm.
go away.
Yeah, so true. If
Yeah,
anything, it just got more important, because if we
yeah,
know creation is 10 times easier than strategy behind that, we can actually spend more time and care there, which
yeah,
is going to equal more success.
yeah.
And I'm excited for your boot camp. We actually have a team member going to
That's right.
hang out with you in the
That's
team.
in Dallas
John,
in February. So,
yes, you
uh,
guys got to be there. Sign up for
yeah,
John's boot camp.
I appreciate that. I'll give you one shout out from somebody said, great example of listening to
Oh,
your customers and adjusting your platform for them. That's what they need. I totally agree. So,
great. Good
well,
stuff. Appreciate
Julia, is there anywhere you want to invite? I know you're not going to invite anybody for a free trial. So,
it. You're out of luck, people.
so is there anywhere you would like to invite people to connect with you?
Yes. I would say go to continentscale.ai/blog. I write a weekly, well, it's bi-weekly now, newsletter where I round up just what I'm seeing in the industry. It's not your AI news. It's more like, oh, here's amazing stories and ways people are increasing efficiency. And also our blog there is a case study of what I'm doing, which is AIO, running the AI machine, optimizing the content. So we actually have one writer doing 70 blogs a month.
Oh, wow.
And she's not stressed. She's happy.
Yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah.
So definitely check out constantscale.ai/blog. That's a good example of what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate you taking a few moments to join us.
Yes,
And,
this was
you know, I
fun.
certainly encourage people, you know, we are heavy supporters of Content at Scale just because we've seen it work.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, the per blog post cost is certainly higher than you can buy the $10, you know, crap for. But when you look at what it really takes to produce and output and format and optimize good content, you know, companies are spending thousands, you know, on that in some instances. So it is a terribly affordable way to produce high quality content, I think.
Well said. Yes. Awesome. Love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, Julia, great seeing you again. Take care.
You too,
we'll run into you one of these days soon out there on the road.
Yes, would love it. Talk to you later. Thanks for having me.
Bye now.
Bye.